I really appreciate everyone taking the time to join today. Nice to see DAO members, some of you delegates, contributors, everybody who is helping to shape the governance V2 and the broader SUMR token design over the past couple of months. I guess the goal today is to make sure everyone's aligned before SUMR transferability, to recap what's ready, what's being finalized, what collective decisions still maybe need to be made. I see Jordan, I see Halabrix also with us today here, so that's great to see. Jordan has been leading the narrative and communications within the working group and has been helping to connect dots between the product and the governance as well, and the external story of the lazy summer and how do we tell the world. So I guess we'll try to walk through. I will try to walk through the governance V2 upgrade and how SUMR lock works. Hopefully, Dark Lord Halabrix could help me with this part and chime in a little bit. Then the SUMR and the USD marketing fund proposal that we saw on the forum, liquidity program incentives and readiness. Also, the latest on the early summer participants and alignment and the steps towards enabling the transferability. So just like to keep it semi-informal, just have it open, transparent. Questions are welcome throughout. Maybe just raise your hand and or write it in the chat, and we can take it from there. So maybe we can start with the foundation of everything, the governance V2 and the summer lock mechanism. It feels like this upgrade is what makes Summer token more than a passive governance token. It's like a system that ties participation and conviction directly to decision-making power. Would you mind, Halabrix, to chime in on how what is being part of the governance V2? How are the contracts being written, the ones that are under the audit at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So there will be 4 new contracts. First is the Summer Governor, which is essentially the same governor that we have used for the V1, with the only difference that we removed the decay. If you don't know what the decay was or is, it doesn't make sense to explain because it will be gone. That's first. One contract that we will use and we will not redeploy is the time lock. Time lock is the contract that has the actual governor powers, and it's also the contract that holds all of the funds, all of the fees that the protocol has earned. And since we made no changes in that contract, we can just reuse the current one, which will make the transition easier because we don't have to move any of the funds anywhere. The second new contract will be the X-Summer or S-Summer. Like we can change the name after the audit, but this will be the new governance token. So the current Summer token will stay as it is, but to have the voting rights in the governance V2, you will need to stake your Summer tokens to get the X or S Summer. Yeah, and this token actually, like, it's that simple. It's Open Zeppelin votes token, ERC20, nothing special, and that was the plan, like not to overcomplicate the voting accounting. What's special about this token is that the tokens with contracts with special privileges can mint and burn SUMR. And that brings us to the final two contracts. First one is what was the name? SUMR vesting wallet escrow contract, which allows the users that have vesting wallets with unvested and vested tokens to still participate in the governance. So the users have to transfer the ownership of their vesting wallets to the escrow contract, and based on that, this contract can mint the SUMR. And those users don't get any special privileges. So you only lock your vesting wallet, you're not earning any yield, you're not earning any protocol revenue. It's because, like, if you want to do it, you can transfer the ownership back to yourself. You can remove the tokens that have already vested and use them in the regular staking contract. And that brings us to the final contract, which is the new staking module. It has the same rights, so you can stake your SUMR token, and based on the amount of the staked SUMR token, you get the exactly same amount of the X or S SUMR token, which allows you to vote in governance. But from the like special options that are in this contract are we have different time buckets, and by time buckets I mean you can lock your SUMR tokens in the staking, for example, for a year, and that gives you a multiplier that is applied to both the SUMR rewards that you get and the protocol revenue share that you get. The curve is if I remember correctly, it's a simple quadratic curve. So if you don't lock your SUMR tokens, you can withdraw them instantly without any penalties, and your multiplier is 1. And the maximum time to lock your tokens is 3 years, if I remember correctly, and there your multiplier is 7x, around 7x. And on the way, it's a curve, so you can lock your tokens with like 1 second accuracy, and every second will get a different multiplier. But the catch here is that there are multiple time buckets. So for example, if you want to lock your SUMR tokens for, let's say, between 6 months and 1 year, there is a cap. So there is a limited amount of SUMR that you can stake in this bucket, and the longer the lockup is, the higher the cap is. So that incentivizes people to lock for longer periods. Another thing in this contract is a withdrawal penalty, which is calculated linearly over your lockup period. So I believe there is a minimum penalty to be paid, which is 2%. The maximum penalty is 20%, and the 20% applies to the longest lockups, so the 3-year lockups, and then it linearly goes down to 2%. And after your lockup ends, so for the sake of the 3-year example, if 3 years plus 1 second passes, the withdrawal penalty is 0%. And on the way, it's just a linear decrease from the 20% to the 2%. I believe
it sounds great.
This is it. Yes, and each user can create like up to one. Okay, that's a technicality, but you can create multiple stakes. So it's not like you need to lock your tokens and then you can do anything else. You can create multiple stakes with different lockup times. So you can you can create a strategy basically. Like you can lock 50% for 3 years, 20% of the tokens for 1 year, and stuff like that. So, and your multiplier will be just a weighted average of all the multipliers from each of the stakes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Tech.
Just a quick one. Can you modify the staking period for longer? Like if you lock for 1 year, but then you change the mind, you can always lock it longer, yes? You can modify
No.
it. Okay.
No, that was a design choice here. You can create another stake with new tokens for longer.
Okay. Can you remind what the multiplier means in terms of the gain?
I'm not sure I understand. Like multiplier, it multiplies.
Just multiplies.
Yeah, so like if you get a 7x multiplier, you will get 7 times more yield than the person that has 1x multiplier with the same amount of tokens.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Curious, like, so all very interesting details and stuff, but curious around the like very practically on 2 fronts. When you lock your SUMR, for me as a user and stuff of the protocol, the first question that comes to mind is upon transferability, it's like, I can just dump this token basically. And curious around what the benefits. I mean, you kind of articulated what the benefits are, not only to myself as a user, but also the protocol itself. Like, how does this governance upgrade the ability to lock SUMR? Like, basically, what are the benefits to me as a user, and what, or as a SUMR holder, and what are the benefits to the protocol itself? It feels like it's an important step in the protocol's life to have this upgrade and feature, and it feels like it's part and parcel of the protocol itself. So just curious around how would you articulate the benefits to me as a SUMR holder, but also the protocol itself and like its prospects to future and current users?
Shouldn't it be you who articulated as one designed that? Like,
maybe my alter ego did, but I mean, for me, it just seems that the the ability to lock SUMR is just like a really powerful mechanism, because you are really taking part in this growth phase of a business, I guess you could say, or protocol. It's really a protocol, but however you want to think about it, is the ability to one, lock your SUMR, earn additional SUMR, which is kind of the standard thing that a lot of these different protocols do. I don't think that's particularly innovative. I guess it is somewhat compelling to lock further, but it is a little bit navel gazing. Like, it is very impactful when everything is going well, but it doesn't. A very interesting parallel to me is the Sky token, the Formula Maker token, where you can lock your Sky and earn USDS rewards, but it's like you get that benefit as well of being able to earn stablecoin yield from locking your SUMR. So it's almost like 2 products in one. You have you're getting the best in class yields from the rest of DeFi, and then by locking SUMR, you're also getting sort of this additional yield from locking this token that has underlying speculative upside to it as well. So to me, that is like really like the full package, and that's really compelling from when I personally as a user think about should I dump this token, or should I basically lock it and earn from it. To me, that's extremely compelling. And then from the protocol, this governance upgrade, for me on the protocol itself, kind of goes back to the same thing. It really makes the protocol this sort of complete package, by having this ability to stake SUMR, and then also earn part of protocol revenues, not just additional SUMR. So yeah, to me it really makes it quite compelling, like really the full package. From my mind, I really have been thinking about it in the similar vein to Sky, for some reason. Just maybe it's because you earn stablecoin yields as well, but yeah. So that's how I would kind of explain the benefits. I'm not sure if that's clear to everybody, but yeah.
I think that's quite valid. It really seems like it's a structure that rewards both the belief in the lazy summer's long-term vision, also keeping the governance open and fair. Like some members might want governance participation without the long-term commitment. Others might prefer locking for several years to amplify their voice, to amplify their revenue share. So it's really interesting, I think, and super exciting. Thank you so much, both of you guys, and Halaprix, for giving us update on this. I think it's the first time that we heard the whole sort of architecture of these contracts, which is really awesome to hear. So just to confirm, the contracts are fully built and they are currently in an audit contest through Sherlock. Is that right? That's alongside the governance upgrade, I guess.
So technically, the contest has been finished on 7th of October.
Okay.
But so the but is that it takes, like, the contest itself, it lasted for 8 days. That was the period where the Watsons submitted all the issues that they found. On the 7th, the judging contest started. So that's where the auditors, the leading judge, are checking all of the submitted issues. And it takes 14 days to finish this period, which will be on 21st of October. But then the escalation period starts in the contest, which is a period where Watsons so the auditors can check the judging results, and if they think that some of the issues were misjudged, they can escalate it, and then the judges review it again. And only then we get the final report with the final set of the issues that we can fix. So that's
awesome.
just to update the timeline. That it will take probably like 2 more weeks.
That's pretty aligned with the timeline, I would say. So like once these items of the audit clear, then the DAO can formally move to deploy, right?
Yes. But from the positive sides, so far no issues were found. So I mean,
no critical issues.
No medium, no highs, only low and info. So, and that doesn't even go to the report. So yeah,
that's great to hear. That's great work. Just considering the time that we have allocated for the call, I would like to also touch on another part, which is the liquidity program incentive there, just briefly. Liquidity is another area where preparation has been fully driven forward. The Lazy Summer DAO has already aligned around deploying initial liquidity pools on Aerodrome, it seems like, primarily Summer ETH pools and Summer USDC pools, supported by incentives paid out in Summer, but also incentivized further to not just reward in further dilution of Summer token, but also the USDC or WETH. So the plan is to, I believe, to allocate a portion of the DAO treasury alongside existing USD reserves to sort of ensure, that there is a healthy market at the transferability. So these incentives will be structured to reward early LPs with boosts for those who commit liquidity for longer periods, helping to stabilize trading and price discovery. Uh, Jordan, from your communication perspectives, how do we frame liquidity in a way that fits the summer story? Do we position LPing as a part of governance participation or more as an opportunity for aligned supporters to help the DAO launch smoothly? What do you think?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit of both, but more so I think the latter one that you mentioned there around. I think it's an opportunity to support the launch of the token and transferability and trading to start smoothly. I think it's always a little bit of a nerve-wracking to a degree for most projects launching a token, and it's really can amplify everything. I think tokens magnify everything for the positive and for the negative. So I think having that support is really an opportunity for people who may not even be like it's somewhat a different like a somewhat different target group in a way, like, or mindset. It's some people might want to LP but also, for example, lock their summer, but it also might bring in new people who are just, for example, not interested in best in class stablecoin yields, for example, and that could attract them and bring them into the lazy summer protocol from a different angle. So I think it's just all growth every way around, and the way you said it, like a great way to support the launch of the sort of summer token, and it brings in sort of a new cohort of users that have a little bit of a different profile. So I think that's actually very, very positive, and I think the message is a little bit different, basically.
Mm, that's nice to hear. It also really seemed of the forum that everybody participating in the DAO seems to want the transferability day to look, of course, intentional, not chaotic, right? We want to have the pools seeded, we want to have incentives active, and we want participants to be ready. And it really seems like we're going that direction, which is awesome, awesome to hear.
Nice.
Catching up on some of actually your also sort of strategy posts that you have created on the forum around summer marketing fund discussion. So maybe we could just touch upon like how the Lazy Summer DAO should communicate this milestone to the wider ecosystem, right? You proposed and wrote the topic around this marketing fund with the goal, I guess, to amplify the transferability, the governance V2 through a balanced high impact campaign. Could you walk us through what the DAO marketing fund is aiming to achieve, what the success would look like there? A bit sort of a backstory on the forum post that you've created.
Yeah. So originally the idea was to. So actually, yeah. So there's basically the post, and the back to the thing around that you said around support and stuff like that. I think that the marketing and the message of all of this stuff is going to be really important. For better or worse, that takes money to do, generally speaking. And so there's a size approach I think, where we can go small, we can go medium, we can go big, or we can go, supersize, uh, basically. And that's all a function of sort of risk reward. What is the return going to be? Will the return be worth the price, basically? Um, and yeah, so that basically that outlines that, and I think there are a few decisions there to be made around what's really around the size. Excuse me, because we have the message, I think, and we have the value proposition in and of itself of being able to lock SUMR, earn additional SUMR, earn protocol revenue. I think that's a really compelling value proposition. I think the lazy SUMR protocol itself is great, and useful. So really just a matter of awareness and how big we want to go in terms of being able to garner that awareness. And so yeah, big, medium, small, extra large, that's a big question. I think it's somewhat maybe up to the community, because that dovetails into the next question, which is, where does the funds come from? Should it be from the DAO? Should it be a vote to vote on this? Should it be more like not from the DAO? I'm not, if basically, or so those are really the only two questions there, and yeah, interested what other people have to say about it, but I'm personally of the opinion, like, go supersize, but that's maybe just my personality.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
We've been also pretty vocal about avoiding the typical token launch hype. How do you think the Lazy SUMR's approach to storytelling should be different from a standard DeFi token rollout that we see all over?
Yeah, I mean, to be frank, I think our communication thus far, the protocol's communication thus far has not been that clear, but hopefully that is changing today with, for example, stuff like this community call, and hopefully some more communication will come out later today and into the launch period. But I think most protocols kind of launch a token, and I think that the token is kind of the product in and of itself. Even an unspoken way, like most people use these protocols in the hopes of a token. They get the token, they dump the token, and that's it. But I think that both on the product level as well as the sort of story of the token and the story of the protocol, is that this is really a moment, I think, that the protocol itself is sort of getting an upgrade. Because one, you have these two additional yield sources, and the protocol itself is about yield. But two, it also really, I think the SUMR token aligns a lot of the participants within the ecosystem and that are using the product. That now they can earn the token from using the protocol, like in a real way, in terms of the protocol is liquid. It has a mark-to-market price. Or will potentially have a mark-to-market price, and also you can earn these two additional yield streams on top. So I think it's really a chance to share the story of the Lazy SUMR protocol. As I said before, these token launches really are a magnifier, I think, and they really expose the strengths and the weaknesses of the underlying protocols. Because in the weaknesses aspect, like if users were just there and the protocol itself was not very good, and didn't have any compelling differentiation, then the token will not do well, I don't think, and the protocol will sort of dry up. To a degree, I think you've seen this with Plasma, sort of. Of course, the great marketing, great awareness, everything amazing on day one. But what is the real differentiated value, for example? Maybe it will be a lot in the future, but today I'm not sure that is the case. But I think for the lazy summer protocol, like, yeah, I think it has a very compelling utility, solves a real need, and then now on top, I think that this token and the key functions of the token really, around locking, really sort of magnify those strengths, and I think that that's how it can be different than most protocols when they have a token and when it goes live, and that's why I think the marketing is so important.
Yep, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey guys, hope you're all having a good day.
Good to see you here.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, like, if you want to differentiate the token, we need to. I think utility is the biggest thing, and so far it seems like obviously there's going to be governance utility. I didn't get. I didn't, like, maybe I missed it. I'm curious. When you're staking the token, I know usually you stake to earn more of the same token. Is there any mechanism in place to earn, let's say, protocol revenue through staking, or is it simply going to be staking just to earn the same token and have governance rights?
We have spoken about this earlier in the call, but yeah, I can do a small recap. Basically, in the governance V2, the community can choose to lock their SUMR for different durations, right? So could be 0, could be 6, 12, 36 months. Each tier is going to be sort of providing the increased governance weight and share of the rev as well. The longer the lock, the stronger the voting influence and the higher the share of the distributed rewards there in stable assets, not just in the summer inflation.
Nice. Yeah, then I think that's a pretty great differentiator. Yeah, because the biggest downfall of, like, most governance token is, like, you're staking it to earn more governance token, and by nature governance tokens do tend to trend downwards. So it's like the
constant
incentive.
dilution.
Yeah, the incentive to stake sort of reduces. But if you have, like, stable rewards, then it's like you're basically buying into more governance token. You're basically buying into the success of the protocol with because you anticipate to get higher stable rewards the more TVO that SUMR collects. And yeah, so I think it's a pretty good flywheel that will differentiate
100%.
SUMR from other protocols. But I do have some, obviously we are introducing some governance complexity, because right now people are used to, you get the token. Obviously it's not transferable, but you delegate and you can participate in governance. But now it's like you have to go through, like, 2 extra steps from before. So curious to see, if we get more participation or less participation. But obviously, if there's earning stables involved, I think we should see some, decent participation overall.
And I think this is super interesting also from exactly what you mentioned from like when it comes to, like, sort of protocol. At the same time, if you look at sort of bootstrapping the summer liquidity on the market to begin with, this is also something that has been discussed on the forum, that the DAO can basically deploy not just the summer tokens and pair it up with the USDC with West, but actually implement rewards in the USDC and with West into those liquidity pools. So it's not just by sort of locking the summer token, but it's also by actually supporting the price stability of the token, or the price sort of discovery, the price development, which I think is super cool. And I really can't wait to have it out. just to be aware of the time, I think we sort of planned it to have maybe I think we have around 5 minutes more. Maybe I would just like to, for the final stretch, to go like sort of through what exactly kind of needs to happen between now and the DAO's vote to enable the transfers. It seems like two parallel tracks must be complete, sort of the audit and the governance preparations as well. Um, the DAO's readiness steps for the LP incentives and communications, So it seems like first the audit completion, of course, the share contest report for the governance V2 and the law contract to be reviewed by the contributors. Any critical findings? So far, there are none, which is awesome to hear. But of course, if there are any, then they have to be remediated and resubmitted for sure. Then I think, if I remember correctly, there it's going to be followed by a parameter freeze and a verification. So there is a lot of settings that needs to take place, and I believe there is going to be governance threads published to prepare for the on-chain proposals, and of course this has to be documented well, so it's very well communicated and everybody understands what these functions will enable holders to do. Vesting wallet ownership and accounting, it also seems like there will be need to migrate or verify the ownership of vote accounting of the old vesting wallet. So voting power is correct on migration. It's a governance action and it will have to be completed prior to enabling the transferability, I believe, and then the treasury and LP allocation vote. So we'll have to coordinate around the vote to approve the initial treasury allocation for liquidity incentives, to do a short look. Give me a second. I believe the treasury at the moment, the DAO treasury holds $185,000 and around 167 million SUMR tokens. So basically, this treasury will be used to bring it to the liquidity bootstrapping. The comms playbook publication really feels like the articles, the topics that were shared for the protocol and strategy, our new category on forum, are super important. So we can all align on how we are communicating this super important transferability event outside. And I guess it all ends up with the transferability vote. Once all of the above are completed, we can initiate the on-chain vote to enable the transfers and move the governance V2. There is no TGE, there is only TEE, I guess. But yeah, so I guess it seems like the contributors are targeting late October based on the transferability. I guess the exact date will depend on the audit outcomes and the community readiness as well. But that's the aim so far, which is real soon. And yeah, there's going to be more posted weekly. Maybe Jordan, what should the community expect in the week immediately prior to transferability from a communication standpoint? What do you think should be posted, and when? I believe you shared the timeline in one of your posts.
Yeah, so the timeline is not 100% accurate, but definitely I think it seems the community has coalesced on exactly what you just said, which is the vote to enable transferability. So I think that is more or less solidified. So I think it's something for people to look forward to in terms of the transferability event. The immediate things I think for people to look forward to are really simply just three core things. One is a detailed written piece of communication in the form of a blog or post or whatever around pretty much everything that we've discussed here, locking the SUMR, the benefits of locking SUMR, when transferability is happening, and what to expect. The other thing that the second thing is also the notion of how to prepare. So, we talked about LPing, we talked about deposits and depositing and sort of earning somewhere that way, and then also talked about the notion of locking and what this means for you as a user or SUMR holder, and how to reason about how long do you want to lock SUMR for? Do you want to do multiple SUMR lock periods, for example? So that's the second thing. So how to prepare. And then thirdly is really just being clear about the timeline about things in a nice cadence. So obviously this is the first community call. We'll have another community call and more community calls, and just being clear about that. So to recap, one, a very detailed overview of everything and transferability, basically all that we discussed today. Two, how to prepare and what locking is, just details around everything that's happening and how everything works. And then three is just constant weekly communication around everything that's happening. And yeah, as I said before, the protocol has, in my opinion, been sort of a little bit, let's say, opaque with the communication, but just a lot going on and a limited amount of people. But I think we're at the protocol is at a point now where really the communication is part and parcel with the protocol and successful outcomes. So we're trying to make that a key priority as well. And that's all I'd say.
Yeah, it feels like this is a huge DAO milestone, and there's a lot of moving parts, which is awesome. But yes, it does take time to get there. I just want to say thanks again to everyone who's contributed, whether in forums, or participated in audit. It's really a collective achievement. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Halabrix. Thanks to everyone who joined in. And I guess see you all in the forum on the next community call. We are moving every day, we're moving one step closer to the SUMR transferability, and it's super exciting. So Lazy SUMR protocol entering a new chapter, and it's powered by all of us. So let's hit the button and go forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.